Hi guys, today we're going to review Hotline Miami for the PS4. Hotline Miami is an indie game made by the Devolver Games, and it's a very good game, and for good reason. So without any delay guys, let's get started.
Before starting the review, let's go to a little bit of backstory about the game. Hotline Miami was a spiritual successor to an unreleased game called Super Carnage. Jonathan Soderman started working on the game when he was 18, describing as a top-down shoot 'em up which the aim was to kill as many people as possible. The project was cancelled unfortunately following difficulties programming the game's artificial intelligence pathfinding. Soderman later met Dennis Wedding, singer and keyboard player in the metalcore band Fucking Werewolf Asshole. They collaborated on a promotional game for the band called Life, Death, Island, which was again cancelled. Soderman and Wedding decided their next game would be a commercial release. Due to financial difficulties, they saw Super Carnage and its potential as a game. They decided to expand upon this, and thus they started developing Hotline Miami. So let's get started the review. The plot of the game begins in Miami in 1989, and we follow an silent protagonist killing things because these guys command him. And I have to say that the story of the game is pretty good. The cutscenes are incredibly well done. The creators said that they took inspiration from the film director David Fields, and that the story was partially inspired by the 2011 film Drive. The silent protagonist was of course inspired by Gordon Freeman from Half-Life, and also Cocaine Cowboy, a documentary film, inspired the decision to use the 1980s Miami as settings. And of course the use of masks. The designers said that they were inspired by the movie Kick-Ass and tried to figure out a way where someone without a lot of money would be able to disguise themselves, which is a pretty neat idea, I have to say. Even after you beat the game, you can also play another play as well, which I'm not gonna spoil for you. The stories are pretty good, full of mystery and suspense. Now let's go to the gameplay of the game. Before entering a stage, you have to choose a mask. Each mask has its own ability and its own limitation. And the game is a top-down shooter game, a very difficult one to be precise. You can't just go there and kill everyone on sight, just without any plan. You have to plan your attack, and I like the claustrophobia setting, that the stages are so small so that you can plan out your attack, because if you just go just like Rambo, you're gonna be dead with one hit, and then start at the beginning of this part of the stage. So in my opinion guys, calculate your attacks, and when you choose a weapon, use it wisely, because if you don't use it wisely, you're gonna be dead. Okay, he's coming, damn it. See what I say? Always calculate your attacks. The soundtrack of the game is pretty awesome. Maybe one of the best soundtracks I ever heard in an indie game. Just listen to it. It captures the 80s so good, and I like that. And the graphics of the game are spectacular. They are so good that they capture the tone of the 80s so well. But one of the bad things I have to say about the game is that the boss can be a little bit frustrated, but nonetheless this game is pretty good. Another thing I have to mention about the game is that the controls are a little bit awkward at first. Yeah, but after that, you'll start to get used to them and it will become your second nature. And as you move on, the stages are gonna become far more challenging than before. And thus you have to use your weapons wisely, because if you don't use it very well, you're gonna die a lot. Oh, what I meant. Okay. Damn it. Anyway. Let's go to my conclusion to the review of the first game.
conclude the review, Hotline Miami is a pretty good game, with only one negative thing, but other than that, it's a solid game with a good plot, nice graphics, incredible difficult levels, challenging, and all in all, this game gets a 9 out of 10. Alright guys, now we're gonna focus on the game's sequel, which is also a prequel as well, which is Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number for the PC. And this game is, as I said, it's both a sequel and a prequel to the first game, and it's also the last game in the series. So let's see, did these guys give it a very close ending? Well, let's find out.
Hotline Miami's 2 background is not really special, but it's worth mentioning. Hotline Miami 2 was originally made in Game Maker 7, but was ported by Abstraction Game to their own engines, Game Maker and Civilware in combination, to gain maximum experience and compatibility with platforms other than Microsoft Windows. Now let's go to the review of the second game. The plot of the game, as I said before, is a sequel and prequel to the first game. It goes back and forth. Sometimes it goes to the 1991 and sometimes goes back in time so they can explain some of the questions that was presented in the first game, which is pretty awesome, I have to say. And the story is still strong enough. One of the other good things is that the mask is back, and that's once again they give their own unique abilities. Another good thing that they improve is that we can control 30 characters instead of 2. Each character has his or her own backstory, and that makes everyone really interesting. And to see how far they will go, which is really one of the strong points in the second game. Other than that, the gameplay is just like the previous one, but instead of a close claustrophobia stages like that, they're just longer, with more enemies and more action oriented one of the previous one. Yeah, you can still go a sneak so that you can plan your strategy, but longer stages does not make it a great sequel. This is my opinion, that they take the claustrophobia thing and now we just have longer stages but with more action. Another good thing that they did in the game is that there is a mode where you can also create your own stories through dialogue crafting, and thus you can create your own stages so that you can give it to the other players and try their best to defeat them. There was a controversy surrounding the tutorial. You played the Big Butcher in a Midnight Animal, a slasher film, and at one point you had to rape a woman in that scene. And one of the PC Gamers journalists was a guest of that scene, and they said they should cut it from the final product. And in Australia they wanted to refuse this game for not being in this card due to that scene. But the creators of the game said that they added a cut and uncut option for the slasher flick level, so that they can completely ignore that scene and move to the game. That was the huge controversy to this scene. Anyway, that's all about the game. The game plays just like the original one, with a few differences so that it can stand out. It's a pretty good game, not as good as the first one. It doesn't have the same huge impact as the first one, with one controversy about the rape scene. Other than that, this game is pretty good. So let's go to my conclusion to this review.
To conclude the review, Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number is a pretty good game, not as good as the first one, but nonetheless it's a pretty good sequel to the first game. So my rating for this game is 8.5 out of 10. So thanks guys for watching this review with two games reviewing, which I'm not doing it very often, and I hope that you all have a good game.